didn't have Hardman. Juju went out. The guys were able to step up. Kadarius Toney, MVS.
Yeah, I mean, we got guys everywhere, and I've said it all season long. You're not going to know where it's going to come from, and obviously that was a scary thing with Juju. I was talking to him in the locker room. I mean, he's looking good, so that was good to see, but we got a good group of guys, and they're stepping up when it counts.
That's great to hear about Juju. Kadarius Toney, it seems like he's fitting in just fine here. 90 total yards and a touchdown. What does he bring?
Yeah, he's a playmaker, and he has a great attitude. He's a smart kid. He's learned the offense fast, and we're going to keep getting him involved. I mean, it's going to be everywhere. I'm going to keep saying it. It's not going to be one guy. It's going to be the whole receiving room, and it's good that you can kind of spread it around like that.
You told us you guys are still learning about this team. Over 480 yards, 150 yards rushing. Is this what you want to see?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to see. We still made too many mistakes. It was sloppy, man. The interception by me, we had a fumble, some special team stuff. But we're going to keep building, keep getting better. We'll learn from this. We have a big one next week, so we'll be ready for it.
Never satisfied. Enjoy the win.
Yeah, thank you.
Patrick Mahomes, big day for him, 4 touchdowns today. Let's take a look at the fantasy recap. That got you 38 points. Trevor Lawrence, not too bad, though. 24 points for him. And Christian Kirk, we mentioned he had a big day, 31 fantasy points. Nice to see that chemistry between Lawrence and Kirk starting to blossom.
Yeah, and they're getting better as a football team. They're still young. It's the first year under Doug Peterson, but they're growing each week.
No 100-yard game for Travis Etienne. You don't see him here. He had 11 carries for 45 yards in a losing cause today as the Chiefs beat the Jags by 10. And let's head out to Arrowhead where Tony Romo joins us. He was on the call for this game between Jacksonville and Kansas City. And Tony, what was your biggest takeaway from this game today? Big victory for the Chiefs.
Really the dominance. What we'd heard and what we saw on tape was that Jacksonville, who had led in every game this year, had been really dominating the line of scrimmage, especially on the D-line. They're formidable. They've created a culture there, and it's, starting to turn around. They're 3-6, but they look better than that, and they've shown they just haven't been able to finish off games when they had the lead. But today was really the opposite. Kansas City dominated on both sides of the ball up front, and then the wizardry of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid was just shown throughout. They just got people open and did some things that just only they can.
Tony, I thought this Chiefs offense was supposed to be taking a step backwards with the loss of Tyreek Hill this season. It doesn't appear to be the case.
No, and we talked about that during the telecast today. Patrick Mahomes, when he had Tyreek Hill and he had Kelsey, he always was able to rely on them and just wait. He could keep looking at either one of them, and one of them's eventually going to find a way to get open. But you'd watch some games, and in a playoff game or something here and there, there'd be like, he's one-on-one out there. Well, now all of a sudden, his football knowledge has caught up with his athleticism and his instinctful, God-given gifts. And you're seeing a guy aggressively take what the defense gives him, and he's finding the leverage and the one-on-one guy over and over again. And it's just really a sight to see from a quarterback perspective.
Tony, one of the things we've, you mentioned it about Jacksonville, the fact that they have held leads in games this season, and we've talked about this throughout the season, but how close is this team and how dangerous do they appear to be if they learn how to win and close out some of these games?
If they're still a year away, I mean, the truth is, at this point, 3-7, this is probably going to be a season it's a building season. But usually when you're 3-7, you're looking at it like, wow, this is not, going well. And I disagree. Me and Jim Nantz both talked about it, ad nauseum a little bit, that this is building the right way. They're going to take that next step. You could see it. They've drafted a lot of really good players. They've got a good coaching staff. Doug Peterson is really good. And what he's done, for Trevor Lawrence, allowing him to play faster, just read something out and rip the ball quickly. It shows they're young. They got to go through it before you can actually understand we can win and we're supposed to win. And when they start to find that, then watch out.
Coming out on the losing side today, 27-17, they lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, who improved to 7-2. Tony Romo at Arrowhead joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. Thanks, Tony. Great to see you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, so Kansas City get the win over Jacksonville. Rick, I'll ask you the same thing as Tony. What's your main takeaway from this game?
Yeah, Kansas City just makes it look so easy, and they're playing good defense, and Mahomes, I think, is having a phenomenal year. They have too many weapons on the offensive side. Everybody was wondering if they were going to be the same explosive type offense without Tyreek Hill, and they are. And I'm not going to be surprised if Tony, who they traded for, is a similar skill set to what Hardman gives them.
Yeah, I mean, look, he makes it look so easy, like you said, but he doesn't even look like he's having a big game, and he's thrown for 330 and 4.
Yeah.
That's just the way they are. I mean, they're explosive on offense, and they're getting, like you said, they're getting better on defense. If Chris Jones and that group and the young secondary starts growing up behind them, they're going to be the team to beat in the AFC.
And Mahomes is favorite for the MVP.
Well, I mean, he's putting up amazing numbers. He really is. I mean, he's playing at such a high level. And remember, the book on him was the big plays, take away the big plays, take away the big plays. Well, everybody played off, and now he's being patient.
Right.
That's the one thing. He's learned how to be patient in the pocket and take what you give him. And he'll take the 10, 12, 15, 18. He's not always looking for the 60 all the time now. We saw that the other night against the Titans, and we saw it a little bit today.
Do you, in terms of what you've seen from the Chiefs, in terms of being able to reload, like, are you surprised that they are still as explosive as they are without Tyreek? They just basically just continue?
I'm not surprised at all, just because as long as you have Mahomes as your quarterback and you have Kelsey as your tight end, that they're going to be explosive, and they're finding other receivers to make big plays for them, which we saw here today, and they continue to do that week in and week out. It doesn't have to be a Tyreek Hill. It's a Smith-Schuster, whoever. It seems to come up with big plays every time that they get an opportunity to.
Yeah, but you said they're they're not as explosive.
They're as explosive. They're making as explosive plays. What you just said is that they're being more patient and taking shots.
But they're not as explosive.
Jacksonville Jaguars at Arrowhead to take on Mahomes with his 24th straight win.